What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Locals Skate. I am your host once again, OG Skate Show. This is a podcast where we get to know local skaters on and off the board. And today we have another local in the house. But this local is a special guest today. We have Jeremy Wray. Thank you for coming down.
What's up?
Yeah,
good to be here,
man. Thank you for coming down, man. I appreciate that. First question I ask everybody is, what city are you repping? You could either say what city you're repping now, and then we can get into what your city you're repping in the past.
Always repping La Habra, no matter what.
Well, okay, that's.
But yeah, I live in Placentia,
okay,
and we don't have a skate park or anything over there. We don't even have any skate shops in the town, so we got some work to do over in Placentia.
Right.
But we'll get them on it.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So repping La Habra, which is of course where you grew. Maybe you didn't grow up there, huh?
We moved there in maybe 89 or 90. It was in my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Started at La Habra High on Christmas break.
Dope.
So I was the new kid.
The new kid.
Yeah.
Were you on the board yet at that time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd already been skating for, I don't even know, about maybe 9 years, 10 years, something like that.
When did you first pick up a skateboard? Like how old?
8 years old.
8 years old?
Yeah, I got my first board on my 8th birthday, but we'd already been skating a little bit before that because my older brother, Jazz, had the first board in the family.
Dope.
So we were all sharing his at first.
Dope. So just everybody just on one board.
We used to like take turns just walking up the hill because we lived in Glendale at that time.
Okay.
So there's lots of hills over there. So we'd have to walk up the hill together, bomb it, and then walk it back up. And the other two were just
standing up
me
already?
And my brother Jazz and my younger brother Jonas. We'd all skate together.
Yeah.
We were sitting down and just butt-boarding down the hill. And then you walk back up, and the next person goes, and we just all take turns.
That's how I started. If you see the hill up here, like I got to the point where I was even putting like I'll put a tire on there or sit on the tire going down, and then I'll even put like
so you're propped up a little,
a floating chair. I have folding chairs, and I'll just be cruising down the hill. Yeah, and all you had to do is just know your balance and how to turn, and you know.
Yeah, and the chair had the little crossbars, so it kept the legs off just
the
enough.
old beach ones. Yeah. So it was back in the day, man. So yeah, that's also how I started.
Yeah, that's how most of us started.
Yeah, man. So that's rad. So first board at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember what board you got?
Yeah, I got a Voltura shattered model.
Damn.
So Voltura was, kind of a toy store brand at the time. I think before that they had made like legit boards.
Right.
But I don't know when it came around. It was the one that was all set up with the nose guard, the skid plate, the rails, all that stuff.
All the fancy stuff back in the day. Yeah.
But it was a rad board. I ended up finding one a few years back on eBay.
Sick.
Got the deck for like $9.
Wow.
Perfect, brand new too.
Wow.
So, and I had it in the closet for a while. It was there. I didn't put it on display or anything.
Are you seeking out any other parts for it? Like try to make
I ended up setting it up because it sat in the closet not being used or looked at for, maybe a year or two. And I was like, you know what? This thing needs to be ridden again.
Oh, so you set it
I
up
gripped
to
it
ride
up,
it.
I put it together, and it was during when I was doing that kickflip bidet thing.
Okay.
So I got a kickflip on it. Felt rad to do a kickflip on that thing. It was so wide and I think the nose was only like an inch long. So it was one of those old, they call them pig shapes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's completely flat, no concave at all, but it had a kicktail on it. Yeah. So that part was rad.
Those are the boards I started off with too, man. Back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80s for sure. Yeah. So are you goofy or regular?
Goofy.
Goofy footed?
Yeah, or Snoop calls it G-footed.
G-footed?
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, G-footed. That's yeah. We're gonna have to start using that now. Yeah. What was your board setup like now today?
I've been actually really enjoying this Lance Mountain board that I got. Jose Cerda kicked me down this Lance Mountain shape that they were working on.
Shout out Jose.
Because I'd been skating a lot of curbs with him, and he had this model just off to the side. It was a full setup. And anytime I'd go with him, he'd be like, here, try this one out. It's got rails on it.
Yeah.
So we would just skate it, and it was so wide it felt like riding a skim board with trucks on it.
Wow.
It was just crazy. Not like my setup at all.
Right.
But had so much fun on it, and every time we went, we'd just have a blast, and I'd get some stuff on that thing, and I just learned how to move it. Then he gave me that board, and I set it up, and I've been riding that thing pretty much ever since.
Wow.
So I've been having a lot of fun on that thing. Finding out what it can do, too.
Yeah. What's the shape like? What's the size of that?
Ooh, I don't even know. It's got to be like close to 10 inch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a wide one. Yeah. And I don't even know the dimensions. I know it's a little bit longer wheelbase and definitely longer than my street board.
I seen you recently. I think you posted something on your Instagram where I even seen some guy with a wider board, maybe at Brea.
Oh, yeah.
Like that guy had some crazy.
That was George Cadillac DeVille. We ran into him at the Brea Park, and he had this board that was. It's one of those old ones that used to have the 4 sets of trucks on it. You've ever seen those? Where it's like it's wide enough to fit 2 pairs of trucks on the front and back,
That is
and then it has
wild.
like 8 wheels, and that whole thing, because you could see where it was drilled for they got little trucks,
like a double dually.
I think they would call them like Lonnie Toft boards or something like that. Like there was I don't know. It was well before our time, but I've seen pictures of them. Oh yeah, I rode it around the park. Well, now instead of the 4 trucks, he's got 2 trucks that are like the longest hangers I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's as wide as this board, and people are looking at even the photo. They're like, "Are those 215s?" Like, no, this has got to be like 480s. I don't even know. I don't know what it measures out at. But
where would someone buy something like that, or did he have to make them?
I think he used to work at Gullwing when they were making trucks, because they were Gullwing trucks too. And I don't know if that's the widest one they ever made, or if they were even custom at the time. I think they were just trying to see how wide they could go. And there's no way you could use that on anything else other than a board that wide.
Right.
And they were pretty crazy. It turned all right. Okay. I thought it would just get wheel bite immediately.
Right.
But I guess they turn enough to where it doesn't get it that bad. So I rode it through the Brea Park, was able to carve through the corners and come back up.
That's crazy.
I guess just recently they left the board over at the 88 skate shop in La Habra, the new shop.
Oh, yeah. Down the street from, La Habra.
Yeah, the guy from there, he had a footage of one of the kids doing a kickflip on it. So they did actually flip it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it up to these kids, man. They be putting it down.
Yeah.
They're like, that thing, I could make it flip. Or like even like...
You can do it, yeah.
I've seen people stand on a piece of wood, maybe, like a little block, and then they'll kick flip it.
Oh, yeah.
Did
you see Chico Brenes recently had that nollie heel on the log? It's just flat. Like, the thing must have been...
And he floats his stuff, too. Yeah,
it was so good.
It was a huge, fat, like a little penny board, but...
Yeah, it was like 4 inches thick. It was a full-on log, and he get a perfect nollie heel on it. Bam. It was rad.
Yeah. Shout out to Chico, man. He's out there ripping it up, too.
Yeah, he's
Chico
been riding
sticks.
the crazy boards, too. Like, just
Chico
different
sticks.
shapes.
Yeah.
It's fun to mix it up these days, because I know, like, Chico goes back that far, where he probably rode those boards back in the days, and so did I. Right. So I rode those, vert and pool boards, because street boards didn't exist, really.
Damn.
At that point, you would have been on a freestyle board if you wanted to do flip tricks.
Exactly.
But we were all just doing our street stuff on the vert boards.
Right. Damn. Okay. Did you ever get into vert skating?
We used to go to Mike McGill's skate park, which had a big vert ramp. So we'd go try to learn it. Yeah. And then at skate camp in Visalia, when we went as kids, we tried to learn, some stuff on vert. Because when you're not around a vert ramp, you don't know how to skate it.
Right. That's why I was always
first we just had to learn how to skate it, try to get to the coping, and then eventually get
the
guts to drop in. You got to learn.
You got to get to okay, so start from the bottom.
Our dropping in for the first time on vert was at skate camp in Visalia, and I think it was like an 11 or 12 foot ramp.
Damn.
And
I can't see
it was
that.
sketchy. Looking over the edge, it feels like it's over vert. You're looking at it like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this, You're way up there. But it was rad because we were up there trying to figure it out, and it was before lunchtime. So we're up there looking at it, and it was me and Jonas up there checking it out with a couple of the buddies from the cabin. And Jonas had his tail over the edge, and he's like, oh, man, I don't know. And I'm looking at it, too. And then the bell rang to go to lunch. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I guess we'll try it after lunch. Yeah. And Jonas was like, nope, I'm going right now. I can't walk away and go to lunch, come back. I got to do it now. Yeah. So he dropped in, and he made it first try.
Wow.
He's like, oh, shoot. Well, now he did it. I got to do it, too. Yeah, so I step in. I do it. And then there was another dude from the cabin that got inspired, too. He's like, all right, I got to try. Yeah. And I think he ended up getting a second try. Like, dropped in and slipped out. Like, I got to lean forward a little. And then did it, too.
The scary part is when you're dropping in, I'm thinking I'm going straight to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll slip out, maybe, you know, but the scary part is like I seen on Tony Hawk's ramp, that big buff dude. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this dude. Yeah. He tried to drop in and he just straight to flat. I was like,
whoa. I've seen that happen to people because they stand up there so long they forget that they are even on a board. Right. They just go in blindly. You got to keep your knees bent. You got to watch the board, make sure you're on it, and try to center your weight if you can. Exactly. So bending your knees helps a ton.
For sure.
But I saw Rodney Mullen try to drop in on the Powell vert ramp. Or no, it was a Plan B vert ramp.
Okay.
And because we were there one day when he rode for Plan B, and it was down in San Diego. It's Danny's ramp. And he used to skate vert, I guess, when he was a kid. Okay. So he was familiar with it, but he just hadn't done it in a while. And when he went to drop in, he had waited so long and looked at it and kind of got nervous. He slammed the same way. Like, it's almost like...
That hesitation will get you.
Yeah, I just bodied it on the flat.
Yeah. It's almost like you can't second guess it. It's either you got to just go for it.
Yeah,
and then it's crazy because once... and like you said, if you get it on that first try, the fear is gone, and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad. And then you go,
you got to get the first one out of the way.
Yeah. Even if like for me, like back in the day, jumping some stairs, I'll jump a stair set and maybe bail it, but at least now, and I tumble out, I go, oh, okay. Right. I got it now. Right. I kind of know. Like,
you got to get the feeling.
Get the feel out of get the scare out of the way. Like just go for it, and then it's almost like the nerves kind of calm down, and you're just like bam, it's on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite trick that you used to do back in the day, or even today?
I still love 360 flips, but they're not as easy as they used to be, especially riding the wide board. Right. Like it's hard to get that thing to go around sometimes, but I was able to get the frontside 360 ollies on the big board, and it felt pretty much the same. You just throw the weight of it around, but I thought it would be more of a challenge, but when I started trying them, I actually got it around. It was like, okay, this is possible.
I'm a big boy.
And I've been getting them. Once I got one, I could do them. So that's been fun. So frontside 360s from way back to today, I still love them.
Dope.
And I learned those from watching Donger.
Donger?
Yeah. Kien Liu.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the good ones back in the 8th Street videos.
Oh, wow.
And even in the Life video. He had the ones like the first ones I ever saw on flat ground where he'd ollie, dip the nose, turn around, and land completely 4 wheels straight. No barking or pivoting, and just keep going.
Yes.
He was the first one to do that.
No barking. I like that because those wheels, man.
Yeah. But the first ones I ever learned were from Ron Chapman in the World Industries video.
Oh.
He did them nose grab, and he did one off the Huntington High School stage. It's like a four stair stage.
Yeah.
Well, next to the stairs, there was just a drop off, and he went off that and did the nose grab, spun it around and landed. So I learned them that way first, which helped me learn them Donger's version later. Because once I knew how to get around, at least I had the top half going.
Yeah.
And then it was just not grabbing the nose and starting to learn how to dip it.
Because
for the nose grab ones, you got to keep the nose up.
Yeah.
So
you got to be able to grab that. And then
I remember trying to adjust from that nose up to nose down.
That nose dip is just everything to get that wrap.
Yeah. It helps a lot. Just point your toe, get it on your feet. You got to get it flat, and then you can pull it around with your toe.
Everybody listening out there, man.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely some tricks to it. And the more you do it, the more you figure out why it works the way it does.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned skating Huntington High.
Yeah.
That was a place that people used to go all the time, like to hit up the stage. I remember wasn't it in like a kind of like a hallway looking area?
Because there was a hallway behind it, and the stage kind of stuck out from the hallway. Okay. And then even down that hallway, there were little hubbas, like that would go down maybe 3 stairs or something like that, 3 or 4 stairs.
Okay. And little I do remember like a little hubbas in the back, like a stair set in the back.
Right.
And then I would no slide down those things. Those were fun.
Right. Yeah. There was like a whole U-turn area that had like a long 8 or 9 stair that went down it. Yeah. And on the other side, there was a set of stairs that had the little hubbas that people would try to go down, and eventually I think Tom Penny even backtailed up it.
Jeez.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Back in the day stuff, man.
Yeah. Now, and Jonas had a sequence doing a 5-0, fakie 5-0 down the one going down.
Sick.
Yeah. Back in the days. Blockhead, or like Black Label days for him.
Black Label days?
Yeah. Blockhead days for me, but Black Label for him.
Yeah. And was that the same time was Huntington Skate Park around at that time too?
No, we would skate the school before the park was around.
Okay.
And that was before we were even driving, so we would take the bus down Beach Boulevard.
Yeah.
So it was the 29A. You get there at like 6:30 in the morning, and you hop on that, and like all of us would just meet up at the bus stop. Mm-hmm. And if you missed the bus, I mean, you could take it by yourself later and meet up with everybody, but most of the time everyone catch that same bus down there.
Yeah.
But it dropped you off right at the high school, right in front.
At the high school.
Yeah. That it was one of those things like before skate parks were around that we could skate like street parks. Mm-hmm. The schools were the parks. Like that was the skate park.
Right.
So, and everyone had their own areas. Like Chafee had their school, perfect little plaza, everything you need for like a good street plaza. And then SF had EMB. While us around here, we had that Huntington High. There was everything there. Yeah. They had the benches, the stairs, the handrails. Like, people were getting coverage there.
Is that not skatable nowadays? Because
not all of it. Yeah, because they took out the stage from what I've heard. Mm-hmm. I think I've been back once since they took it out. There used to be a little bump over a grate that you could get a line to the bench. I think all that stuff's been reworked. I think they just started removing some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And they got a little better at designing it to where you couldn't skate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, a set of stairs, you can still skate that.
Right.
There's still stuff to skate, but it's just changed.
It's just not as, I guess, as popular as it was. Because, man, I remember going there and my homie would be like, dude, Andrew Reynolds is right there. And I'm like, okay. Like
a lot of people would roll through there.
I was still too young to, like, know who these people were. But my homie Robert, shout out to him. He was the guy kind of guiding me and letting me know who's who and stuff like that, like.
Yeah. And that place used to be a bus, too. Like,
yeah.
We've been rolled
people
a few times.
That.
I remember we used to go there and the cops would roll in the car and we would just skate towards the stairs and ollie down the 3 stair because they can't drive the car down there and then just go make a loop. Yeah. And they'd keep trying to chase us down. And we knew how to get in and out. So we would just play with them until we'd go out a different way that they couldn't follow us. And then we just go get something to eat or something across the street. But we did have one time a helicopter came over and they were like hovering over it. And they were even saying on the thing like, drop your board. Like, stay where you are. And like they're like we're looking up like, what? You just go in the hallway and then they can't tell which way you went and you get out a different way.
Yeah, acting like you guys robbed a bank or something. Jeez. Yeah. They
used to be like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cops can be a little extra on the skate station.
They can.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. We had our times with the cops for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, growing up, skateboarding wasn't illegal, but they sure made it feel like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you'd be getting chased out of places. And the only reason why a lot of, like for me, when I used to skate at schools is because there's nobody there usually.
Right.
And if the only way you got in trouble is like, I don't know, maybe there was a teacher there doing something extra on the weekend or like,
Yeah, you could skate there after school was over on weekdays, but most of the time we just hit it on the weekend.
Right.
When there's nobody there.
Right. That's probably
and Sundays were the safest bet, because then really nobody's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we try to fit it in there, yeah.
Jumping fences, man. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I got to jump a fence nowadays, it's like, I don't know. It's got to be worth it. I got to know that I'm going to get something that day.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So when did they bring out the Huntington Skate Park? And did you skate it too? Yeah.
We were there when it popped up. And I don't know what year it would have been. I mean, I'm guessing it would have been the early 90s, maybe mid-90s.
Okay.
But
bump into Tom Penny there?
Yeah, we skated with everybody there.
Yeah.
Ed Templeton would be there a lot. Tom Penny would roll through. Even Muska and I think Andrew Reynolds in the early days was there too.
Dope.
Jeff Rowley.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole crew, the whole Baker crew.
You recently, did you skate with Jeff recently too?
Yeah, we get out sometimes. Yeah.
That's dope.
I don't know what our last session was, but yeah. We would cross paths at the local parks and stuff. Skate Costa Mesa, whatever we skating that day.
All right. Would you consider any of the skate parks nowadays a local skate park of yours, or is it?
The only one local now for us is Brea.
Brea?
Yeah.
That would be.
And now that they redid it, it's a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been skating that.
I enjoy the new Brea Park, man.
Yeah.
A lot of locals maybe are like kind of maybe bummed, because a lot of people
they like the old one?
They like the old one sometimes, but then, I think they'll get over it once they start skating it, like everything's nice and smooth now. It's like.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's certain things that changed a little, but for the most part, it's pretty similar to the original design.
Right.
I mean, if you like that old bowl, the size it was, you're in for a shock when you go down there now. That thing's huge.
That's deep. I'm nervous just rolling around the backside of that thing because.
Yeah, I've seen people skate that new bowl really well, and I've also seen people struggle because it's got some issues where there's the certain transitions in those humps.
Yeah.
Some people just come around the wrong way and just get tossed off the hip.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, but I don't know. People are getting to know it, and there's definitely stuff to be done there.
That's cool. You jump in the bowl every so often.
I'm trying to chip away at it and get better at it, but it's way out of my comfort zone because it's well overhead high, and I don't wear a helmet or pads, so if I get in trouble, I got to run out of it or roll out of of it.
Yeah,
so it gets sketchy scary when you get up that high.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you got to skate that park when it kind of like a pre grand opening, right?
Yeah, Canton Russell hit me up because he was involved in the design of it, and he let us know they were going to do the grand opening, and I think 2 days before the grand opening, he let us come in and just test it out because they were going to film some stuff and promote it on the social media and just let people know that the grand opening's coming.
Dope.
Have some footage. So we got a few of us out there that day. That was fun.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that showed up and still putting in all that work, and like even Cantle just.
Canton got down.
Canton, yeah,
he got some tricks that day.
Yeah, and all the work he does with all the skate parks. I follow him on the Instagram too, so I see all the stuff that he's been doing. And
they're doing some really good projects.
Yeah,
I guess there's one new park opening up in Nimpomo. It's like Northern California, But in that same little town of Nimpomo, there's a steakhouse called Jocko's.
Okay.
And it's super good steakhouse. And that's where we still get our seasoning to this day.
Oh,
we
wow.
just got some from my wife Carissa's brother was up rolling through the town. He picked us up some.
Oh, okay.
We use it on everything.
Do you have to, it's usually when you drive through is when you pick it up? Or
we use it so much I order it sometimes online at jockosmix.com.
My friend, he comes, when he comes down from Washington, he always stops, I don't know where he stops,
Right.
but he brings me this salsa.
Oh, yeah.
It's called like the threesome or something like that, but it's tangy, sweet, and like spicy all at the same time. It's like it's
Three
like
different
a perfect,
peppers then.
It's got like a perfect breakfast chili sauce.
Yeah.
You know? It's like it's perfect for breakfast. You know.
I wonder what the third chili is because I make my own salsa too, and I use jalapenos and a little bit of habanero.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where the sweet comes from.
Okay.
But it balances out sweet and the habanero is real hot.
Right.
So like it gives a kick that some people can't really handle.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I'm starting to
kicks it
sweat
up a
thinking
notch.
about buying it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, we were
Once
making
you mentioned that habanero, I'm already sweating.
Yeah, and I grill them on the grill. And then,
that makes
put it all together. Yeah,
tastes a little roastier.
Yeah,
and
gives a good flavor.
Gives a good flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out, man.
Yeah.
I love salsa.
Well, I learned how to make it from my wife's grandmother.
Okay.
So
yeah.
she taught me her recipe. And it was a closely guarded secret. So
Oh.
I had to ask more than once.
Yeah.
And she wasn't really going to give it up. And I'm like, well, someone's got to make salsa for the family, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I
Pass
thought
it
hers
down.
was the best out of everybody's in the family. So I had to finally just ask her. I know
Yeah.
yours is different.
Yeah.
So what do you do that's
What is
different?
the difference? Yeah.
And one day she finally broke it down for me. And I think it's while Carissa was going over there with her cousin Carly and getting cooking classes.
Oh,
so
dope.
she was passing down the recipes to them.
Mm.
And they learned. They should have filmed it or wrote more down.
Yeah.
Because now they just have it on memory. But
Yeah.
those were good lessons though.
Yeah,
and all the
man.
stuff was really tasty.
Dude, I love the old school cooking, man. It's like you don't find it nowadays too much anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, as a dad myself, I got to make the food. So sometimes I've been asking all the people in the family for certain things that they do best and trying to break it down and try our version of it.
Right.
And,
Yeah, because sometimes you throw your little spin on it, and then
Right.
you're like, oh wow, this is kind of like I like this better this way.
Right.
You know, sometimes, yeah.
Everyone's got their secrets.
Oh yeah. I've I have my little cooking things too, like making tri-tips and stuff like that, seasonings.
Yeah.
Everybody has their thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, we learned the tri-tips.
Yeah.
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 The slow cooking method off to the side.
Oh yeah.
Takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get them perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really like to cook too much. My thing is if I'm barbecuing, says we'll take a pause of skating a little bit. But,
Yeah.
When I'm
This life
barbecuing,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like to have one heat on and one heat off. That way, if you get in trouble, say you're cooking chicken, that thing starts flaming up.
Right.
You have a safe zone to go to. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
yeah.
So and then it slow cooks on this side, and then you could cook something hot over here.
Right.
And you kind of do the rotate things, and
Yep.
So you learn. I mean, as a kid, when I was first barbecuing, I put charcoal in the whole damn thing, and then things are flaming up. You're like, where do I put this stuff?
Yeah, you can get lost real quick.
So hey, you live and learn, man. You learn to make mistakes, and then teach the next person so they don't run through those. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone teaching me except when I got into, my wife's family. They started teaching me all the stuff, and I got to know everything about using that grill.
That's
Now I got it down.
Yeah. I used to have a huge grill. Now I just have a little one. Like I don't need all that crazy, unless you're having a big party and you need to cook a lot of food. But yeah, it's not all necessary to have these big impressive grills, and then they sit outside and get all rusty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly, they're gonna get used and they're gonna get abused.
Yeah,
they're gonna get greasy.
For sure. Oh yeah. They're gonna get dirty, and then I hate, and then charcoal too. Like all the ashes afterwards, you gotta clean all that up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's good flavor.
Yeah.
Good flavor.
I just went through that because I bought a little mini grill, a 14-incher.
Yeah.
The other day I was emptying it out and I was like, there's so much ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's getting on the food and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah. It could.
You gotta maintain them.
Yeah. You gotta maintain that stuff, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's get back into the skating a little bit here. Yeah. Do you prefer skating more parks, or do you miss? Or do you still in the streets?
I remember when going to parks used to be where you go to warm up and then you go hit the streets.
Right.
And then it got to be where some of the guys would just want to stay at the park and not go hit the streets anymore.
Uh-huh.
And then the parks got better to where the thing that you were going to skate in the streets is now in the park. So it's like,
it's
getting trickier. And now lately, most people just don't want to, drive from spot to spot or worry about getting kicked out or getting,
True.
Arrested
And
or
then,
a ticket.
because we're older now, and then
Right.
they're looking at us like, you guys really? And they're like, yeah, we're still doing this.
Yeah. No, if I had my choice, I'd prefer to still go get some clips in the streets. I just like being in the streets more than being in a park,
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like skating stuff that wasn't made to be skated.
Yes.
Yeah. There's something different about it.
Yeah.
The look and the feel of it.
That's dope.
Yeah, but I mean, the parks are great just to keep your skills up,
True.
and try to learn new stuff because like you don't find too much transition stuff on the streets.
No.
So it's fun to just learn that side of skating and keep it pretty well rounded.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's good to be good at everything if you can,
Of course.
or at least try.
Well, that's what the parks are doing nowadays.
What was one spot you had like the most trouble, like dealing with security and stuff like that, or you got to go back?
I mean, there was that triple set in downtown LA, the marble one, and there was one security guard that we were filming for the audio video, and we were trying to get a couple clips, and
Excuse me.
the triple set is right there, right where the security booth is. It's like there's glass windows right there, and the triple set. So every time you go by, he sees you, he comes right out. So we'd have to like sneak attack. I'd come around the side and film our photographer down here getting ready, and they just give a little thumbs up or whatever. Just know your timing, and then just go for it. And if you didn't make it first try, you got to go back around and try it again. Yeah. And they catch on. So,
make them think you maybe left.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like you already skated out.
Yeah.
And then, or if they're going to chase you this way, go around the other way, and then you get one more try. So you'd usually get about 3 tries before they would completely catch on and just give you the boot.
Yeah.
But there was this one security guard that was there. If we went there 5 times, he was there 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And he was starting to take it personally. Where he's like,
oh, I hate that.
It's my job to make sure you guys don't skate this thing.
Right,
And it's like, well, it's my job to try to skate this thing, and I got to get this clip for this video. So, like, we're going to have to work together here.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, like, I'm going to get in trouble for my boss if I don't kick you out. So I need you to stop coming here. I'm like, well, what time's your shift end? Because I can come after you're not working, I don't want to make it a personal thing, and I'm definitely not trying to put this on you.
Right.
I'll work with you. So what time do you get off, and I'll come then. And no, he wasn't having it. And then, every time he'd come, you again, Yeah. And he even came out with the walkie-talkie one time, and he raised it up like he was going to hit me with it. And I'm like, it's not a personal thing, man. I'll bounce right now. I'll be back later, But just know that I'm going to come back and get this thing.
Yeah.
And we never stayed long. It was always, 3 tries in and out, sometimes 2 tries. But
that's crazy.
But we got everything we wanted.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was that shooting for
the audio one step beyond? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few things first try, and a couple things took 2 tries. But we always got what we wanted.
Yeah, and of course you had a shoe on audio.
Yeah.
Which I have.
Oh yeah.
I have Which shoe is this one right here? Is this the?
That's the V4. So that was the 4th model on audio, and for this one I kind of went. Because I know audio, when it started, it was more on the tech side. Mm-hmm. They were trying to promote the technical side of skating, like have different features that were unnecessary, but like kind of like trying to made it more high end, But for this one, I really slimmed it back down and like kind of just put what we needed in there. Right. And I based a lot of the sole design off of my original shoe on Duke's shoes. Okay. I had designed a shoe for them when we started that brand way back. Yeah. But just even like the flatness of the sole and having a tread that like had a repeated pattern, but you get more feel on the board, Yes. And then not as thick in the heel even. Like I had a midsole going through there. It was a little thinner. But and even just having it stitched on, that row of stitching across the top. Yep. That works better than having the glued on ones. Right, yeah. Sometimes those glues, they don't always hold up. Yeah. And in the earlier models, we had some like EVA or PU stuff on the sides that just hasn't lasted over time. But this one seemed to last forever. Yeah. This was good. The fat laces that you added to there, just, man, that really hooks it up. To me, that was a style back in the days for me. Well, yeah, the fat laces went back to like the days of like breakdancing and Pumas or Puma baskets with the fat laces. I used to be a street artist. Yeah. So we used to rock the fat laces and stuff like that too. And Adidas or we'd be rocking the Pumas. Right. Yeah. That was definitely 80s influence, and I liked it as a kid, and I wanted to bring it back. Yeah, and they fought me hard on that, actually. Audio thought it was a terrible idea, thought it would never sell, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it. Wow. So I told them, well, you could put in a second pair of laces. Yeah. And for these ones, they started doing the second pair thick too because they sold so well.
Yeah.
Originally, we had them do a thin pair, and I'm like, if they don't want the thick ones, they just put the thin ones in, and that way they have their choice.
Yeah.
But I want the thick ones on the shoe.
Right.
You know, when it goes to the store, it goes to the stores and stuff.
That's dope.
And they let me do it, and it ended up doing really well. And then in the next lineup and the next shoes that followed, they started putting fat laces on all their other shoes to try to make them sell. So, all right.
Yeah, see?
That's
all
how
of a
it
sudden.
goes.
All
Yeah.
of a sudden, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and they actually didn't even want me to do the A that goes back because this is like the audio A.
Uh-huh.
Because it's only an A on one side. Like that makes a lowercase a, but on the other side it's reversed.
Right.
So they were kind of, you know, on the fence about that. They're like, it doesn't.
But it needs to
But it makes it a mark, you know. And I wanted to pull it back, you know, like a good Puma or Nike or whatever.
Right.
Just all those ones that have it come back to the heel. Just for the design alone, I like that look.
Yeah.
So they fought me on that for a while, and then they finally let me do it, and it did good.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, these shoes are. I mean, man. I mean, nowadays, skating in something like this, people might be like, "These are a big shoe," but like you said, you change things so you can have actually board feel on the bottom.
Yeah.
This part right here, you could tell it's for pushing.
Right,
You know,
and
like-
flex, and I
yeah,
also
the
put
flex.
like you know, the little divot in here,
Uh-huh.
so that you get a little cushion. It's right under the ball of your foot.
Right.
So it does a little support like that.
That's dope.
But,
little things that
And also having the Ray on the heel under the audio symbol, because audio was a 4-letter name, so mine just fit perfectly, and I did it in their lettering style.
that's dope.
But then after we did that, they ended up doing that with all the other riders too. So they had like BAM shoe, or just said BAM underneath.
Okay.
And for Danny Montoya, it just said Toya.
Yeah.
So they tried to like incorporate that design in all their other ones too.
See?
But
Yeah.
we were the first ones to do that one, and it just ended up working out. I just like the way that looked. You know?
Yeah, that
Having your
stands
name
out more
and the
than on
company
the
on there.
tongue, because like if the tongues ain't hanging out, you know, that's gonna stand out a little bit more
Right.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, I like this shoe a lot, and
Yeah.
just the materials and the way it was designed, it lasted a long time.
Yeah, solid, man. I mean, and they look good too.
Yeah.
That's to me, people are gonna go with what looks good first.
We got to do some fun colorways on this one too, because it was a model that sold, and we got to do a few different seasons of it. So we went through all kinds of different colors. This was kind of like, of course, Raiders inspired.
Yep.
Which
the silver and black.
I had a hand in that. Yeah, I married into the Raider Nation, so I didn't have a football team of my own.
Yeah.
I didn't really follow football,
Yeah, I
but
don't
my
follow
wife's
it
whole
either.
family was all Raider fans. So I got to know the Raiders and the culture.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah,
Oh,
we've been to a few Raider games.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been to one once when they were in Oakland, way back in the day, man. And unfortunately, sheesh, the tailgate party was so crazy that
They're gnarly, yeah.
I was already I was pretty much done by the time I went to the game.
Yeah. Yeah. That happened to us.
Yeah.
Like the first one I went to, we were skating in SF, and it ended up being a rainy day. And I think it was still early 90s. And someone we were with had hookups at the Oakland Stadium. So they were like, hey, we can go see the game today.
Yeah.
So we went and saw the Raiders play then. That was my first football game I ever went to. But
Yeah.
after that, and being around my wife's family, we would take the train down to San Diego to see them when they played the Chargers
Oh, okay.
back then. And man, yeah, on that train ride, that was the first time I'd ever been drunk before noon.
Yeah.
It was like the uncle's just handing back Bud Lights,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we got to the train station, had a Bloody Mary, and then,
Yep.
all right, we're getting on the train, start having Bud Lights, and I looked down, like, oh, shoot, it's not even noon yet, and I don't think I'm going to make it through the day, Because then we get down there, they're tailgating, having shots of tequila, and, pre-gaming before the thing. It's we went to the game, and it's funny, you're standing in the beer line most of the time, you're not even watching the game. I think I only saw, one play.
Yeah.
And then every time you get back to the seats, okay, someone else needs to get a beer. We go back up.
Yeah. I remember sitting in the seats, me and my homie, and then I was starting falling asleep, and then people be yeah. What happened? Just acting like you saw the play too.
No, I ended up making it through the whole day in the game, but on that train ride back was a rough one. Just oh man, because it's all over. And then even on the train ride back, they had cut the power. The lights were all off.
Oh wow!
I think it was trying to keep the Raider fans a little subdued. They said it was a failure of some kind, but I think they did it on purpose.
So they use a train often to
they just
go
turned
up
off
there.
the lights on everybody. So then I was like, all right, everyone mellowed out.
Where do you get the train from? Like in Fullerton or something? And
Yeah, we catch it at Fullerton because that's not too far from us, you know.
Like the Amtrak and
yeah, we take the Amtrak down.
Trains are fun, man. Trains are fun because you can walk around. They have like a cart where you can look out the window, like big windows, and then there's even like a little area where you can buy beer too, like snacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, we finally took our kids for their first train ride. Did the same thing, just down to San Diego.
That's cool.
Just spent the day down there.
That's rad.
Fun.
Yeah, things
Amtrak's
you need to do.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, we used to take the Amtrak down to San Diego for skating, like before we were driving too. We take the Amtrak down to Oceanside, and Dave Berthold from Blockhead would pick us up, and we just stay the whole weekend down there, and then take the train back up. So
that's right.
Yeah, we'd figure out ways to get around as kids, even if we weren't driving yet.
That's scary.
We traveled a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I, as a kid, my mom would be, if she found out I went to San Diego for the day, I'd be in so much trouble.
Yeah,
especially because knowing me, I'd miss the train coming back home or something, and it'd be like, "Can you come get us?" Like all my friends,
right?
She'll be like pissed.
No, I think my mom was happy to not have to drive us because she used to drive us down to Mike McGill's and skate for the day, and she would just drop us off, go do something at the beach or go do something all day, come back and pick us up at the end.
Okay.
And she just make a day of it down there.
He was in San Diego?
Well, Mike McGill's the skate park was down there in Oceanside, but it was inland a little bit. And he had like, mini ramps and vert ramps, spine ramp, all this stuff all connected. It was rad park.
That's dope.
That's when we first got to skate with like Alfonso Rawls and, some people down there, like Peter McBride used to skate with us a lot down there.
That's cool.
But it was a cool crew that all skated and learned down there. And if you get on the vert ramp, you could see some real guys getting busy down there because it was like one of the best vert ramps in the area.
I know. It sucks because back in the day when growing up, we didn't skate vert, so they called it the vert button when you fast forward it.
Yeah, the videos. Yeah, because you weren't really learning as much from watching that if you weren't into it. And,
but I always liked watching like who's the dude from Plan B that he I think he's barely getting into the skating the ramp again, but he did a lot of street.
Talking about Colin McKay?
Colin McKay.
Yeah.
He did a lot of street tricks on
Danny and Colin were really pushing the street side of vert. Yeah. They were doing stuff that people were doing on ledges on the top of that vert.
And that's when I started paying attention
and
more.
doing switch skating and, even skating with no pads, stuff like that.
Oh, dude. Flip tricks, catching, put them under feet. Like, all that was impressive to me, just watching that was just like, I'm like, no way, dude. Like,
yeah. Doing the flip tricks with no grab, above the coping, pretty rad. They had it down. They were definitely pushing that side of skating.
For sure, man.
And just switch tricks on coping up there. Pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost forced to learn switch if you're on a vert ramp because you're going to be coming backwards up the other side.
For sure.
And if you're not turning around properly, you're just you're going to have to.
Yeah. Yep.
So, wow. Cool, man. So that was back in the day. And then when did you start Trick a Day, or how did that come about?
Well, it started with trying to get the kickflip a day.
Kickflip a day?
Setting up the New Year's resolutions, after New Year's, like trying to think of something to do. And at some point, it was just like I wasn't skating every day, but I wanted to do something with my board every day, just get that connection. So I was like, well, if I do a kickflip every day, then at least I'll be out there.
On your board.
I'll make a connection with that board, and I'll be doing at least something on it. And sometimes it would lead to going skating for the day. Right. And sometimes all you do is walk out your front door and do a kickflip and go back in. That's all you have time for. Yeah. Also, as I had 2 little kids at home and wasn't able to get out as much. So just that kept me on my board. And we had been trying to do it for years, and we'd make it through, the rainy season and all this stuff and make it pretty far. And then we'd miss a day just because it would get dark too fast or whatever. And then like, I didn't get my kickflip in today, and we just stopped. Yeah. So then the first year, I think we'd done that for about 2 or 3 years. Me and Jonas trying to push each other to get it done. Right. And we were doing it like in the kitchen at night if it got dark, or I'd do it outside with the lights of the car, trying to make it work.
And this was back in the day when you didn't have to post it and prove it. Right. This was just on your own conscience.
Yeah, on our own stuff. And then the first year I made it to the end was when I decided I'm going to try to film it and put it up. That way I'll get held accountable, and I'll just try to be on it. Mm-hmm. And then I learned it's better to try to get it done before noon, because then the rest of your day, because whatever you might get into, you might go past sunset, and then you have to do it in the dark. So I'll just start doing them as early as possible. And then that led to me actually making it all the way. And just even trying to film them every day on your phone, like your phone battery dies, or like sometimes my phone would get too full. I wouldn't have enough storage to film one. So you'd have to delete clips to try to film one.
Yep.
All that stuff. That was a struggle. But that's with the older phones with less battery life and less storage. But I still made it through that whole year. And then at the end of that year, did my last kickflip. I was up in Big Bear at my wife's parents. They have a cabin up there.
Dope.
And it was in the snow, in the ice. Like I'm on this like
That's
wet road. And I was even trying to get it and it was all icy. My board was sliding out and I just had to find a good little patch that had been hit by the sun and try to get it. Well, I ended up getting one kickflip. And then the next morning I wake up, okay, it's January 1st again. Right. Am I going to keep going? I don't want to do kickflips again. Yeah. So I started just doing shove-its in the driveway. I had to pull the car out because it had been snowing.
Right.
So I pulled my car out and I was able to skate where the car was because there was no snow down there. So I did a couple shove-its and then we were up there for like 2 more days. And then when I got back home, I started doing just started with all the shove-its. Yeah. And started doing a different trick every day. And then that's when I told our buddy Luna, like, I'm going to try to do 365 different tricks. Damn. And he's like, do we know that many tricks? Like, I've never counted. I don't know how many tricks we know. So, yeah, once it started, like, just doing ledge tricks and rail tricks and, like, forward and switch. And pretty much every trick you can do 4 ways. Right. Because you can do the regular one, the nollie one, the switch one, and the fakie one. Right. So even with the regular kickflip, you can do that 4 ways. Right. And then you start doing the 180s in it. You got front side and back side of 180. So it opens it up. And then if you really think about all the tricks you know lots of tricks. Right. So started just rifling them off. Dope. And I had a lot of fun with it, just playing with it. Like on day 180, I did a 180, Yeah. And I had to wait all the way until day 360 to do the frontside 360. Right. So it was hard waiting that long. But on day 360, I dropped that one. And then on April Fool's Day, and even on the kickflip day, on April Fool's Day, I threw a heel flip in just to mess with people. They're like, people were like, wait, that was a heel flip. Yeah. Every time I do my kickflips, they would say, oh, wait, you're set up for heel flip, because my foot position. That's what they always, Roger, everybody on the 9 Club, they always say, have you seen Jeremy Wray's kickflips? He's set up for a heel flip. Right. I'm like, yeah, but what size of shoe are you, though? Size 11. See, man, that was size 11 shoe, and I used to ride like a 7.5-inch board. Yeah, your toe might hang over on the other side a little bit. But also where that came from was learning how to ollie first, because I like trying to kickflip over benches and stuff in the schoolyards. If your toes off to the side too much, and it starts trying to flip it too early, you're like, and your tail's gonna hit. Yeah, it gets rocket, and your tail hits on the way up. Yeah. So how to level it out and get it over something, I had to delay the flip. So I would put it all the way over to like a regular ollie position, right, and try to ollie first, and then try to slide it late. Flick. Yeah, just get it as late as possible. Hang on to the board as much as you can and flip it late so you can get it higher. And that's where that little toe hanging off came from, because that's my normal ollie position. Right. I try to do everything from that ollie position. Yeah. And it was a weird learning transition to get that down, but once I got it, it stuck with me. I still do it like that. Yeah. Shout out to that. But that's the reason, just to get it higher. And I want to bring up Chris, because Chris Valdez, because he also did Trick a Day. And on his last day, I like how he did the impossible. Right. At Stanton Skate Park, and you guys were all there for that. That was rad. Yeah, because for Chris's, he was one of our old skate friends. Like, went to the Habra High with us, skated with us through all those years, and he got sponsored, and we were all in the streets filming together and stuff. And just how life and family goes, he ended up taking a break from skating, doing his work stuff, and on his 40th birthday, I think it was even Jonas's idea to just get a board together for him. Yeah. So we all just, we got some stuff together. Yeah. Everyone had some parts. We put up a full setup and surprised him with it for his 40th birthday at his house. Yeah. And then we got a picture of him holding it, not really thinking that he'd really hop into it. Right. And that was in the middle of me doing my trick a day thing. Okay. So he went out that next morning and got a trick on the new board. And then the next day he did another one. And then he just joined me on it. And he didn't start at the beginning of the year, so his went, into that next year. But he got 365 days straight, and he had a lot of hard schedule stuff where he's on the road in the middle of nowhere at a truck stop. Yeah, he'd get one right before midnight. For his work, he's pulling like race cars around in his truck. And then he was doing he'd be at a truck stop, and he'd have to like figure out what's there. and do something wherever he was at. And he came up with some really creative ones.
And he had some
fun.
creative spots too.
Right.
Had some truck stops, and he had hotels at wherever he stayed.
Right.
At. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You never know where you're gonna be.
No.
You know?
And you know, and like I said before, like sometimes you may do the same trick, but maybe it'll be on a different obstacle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they make it a different trick a day. You know, like like say, oh, if you did a kickflip, but he kickflipped like 5 stairs.
Right.
To me, that's another trick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I tried not to overlap, but I think some things on transition maybe, you know, like a kickflip fakie on a mini ramp.
Right.
Is that the same as doing the kickflip on flat ground?
And,
I don't know.
And he also had some good advice about how like save those easy tricks for days that you don't think you can get up and
for
do.
sure.
Because if I was gonna do it, I'd probably knock out all the easy ones first. And
and then what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And then I'm like, damn, maybe I'm struggling one day. I'm hungover or something. I gotta get out. And I should have saved that shove it. You know?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get stuck on a hard one that you don't get. So sometimes you got to just, think of plan B.
So anybody out there plan on doing this?
It's a hard challenge, and a few people have. And then even I think someone else took the kickflip a day and decided to do the 360 kickflip a day.
A friend of mine also.
They made it.
What's his name? Vidal? No.
Louis.
Louis. Yeah, Louis. He did switch flip a day.
Wow!
Because he wanted to just perfect his switch.
Did he
flip.
make it?
Oh yeah,
the full year.
He's still doing a trick a day, even though he's already finished, and he just keeps continuing to go and go and go.
Yeah, when I got to the end of the kickflip one, I'm like, I can't go another year of just kickflips. I got to do something different. That's where the trick a day came in.
And then he started doing like I think switch frontside flips. I think he wanted to learn next or something. So
yeah.
Man. I mean,
I used to be able to do those ones pretty good. The switch frontside flip, it felt easier than regular frontside flips.
For me too.
Yeah, but
because I was turning back to my normal.
Right, because you're landing forward again, and you can kind of flick it differently to where you can catch it and you're already facing forward. Mm-hmm. But I haven't done one of those in a while. But I'd like to bring those back because they feel good when they're on.
Yeah.
And they're not too bad.
That'd be cool, man.
Those feel good when they just float back up to your feet.
Yeah, because they really connect.
They smack your feet.
Yeah.
Right.
That felt great.
Yeah. And I always thought. Since they catch early, that you might be able to do a switch frontside flip, catch it, and do a late backside 180.
Whoa.
Because you can catch it and you're pretty early and high.
Yeah.
So if you just had your shoulders turned, I bet you could do it all the way around.
Hips to twist.
And it'd be a lot easier than the regular frontside one. So switch, it might work.
Jeez.
I know that it can, and I'm sure someone's done it by now. But we always used to think about that. Like, man, you could do that.
Yeah.
Super late.
Crazy. Yeah, super late, but you definitely can do it. You got some hang time.
Well, if you go fast and you're off a bump, then you can fly. Yeah.
There's
a lot you can do with all that time. That's when all the late shoves would come in.
Yeah.
You know, you do a trick, catch it, and then do the late shove on your way down.
One guy did that on our, I think it was last Thanksgiving. We did the line where everybody is alling up the Euro gap.
Yeah. Tom Krauser came through with the late shove. That was rad.
To pull that off.
First try.
Yeah, in a line like with everybody to risk it. Everybody's landing just land whatever you can do.
Right.
And me, I'm like, okay, I can ollie it. Let me get that out there. And then this guy comes in with the late shove it. We're all watching it back going, look at this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
That was for our Thanksgiving Day session. Yep. That's our annual Thanksgiving session at the Brea Park.
Yep.
Took a couple of years off because the park was getting remodeled. But
but
that was our first year back, and it was a good turnout.
It was a good turnout, man. It was really fun, man. A lot of good people there. Everybody shows up, and everybody has a good time.
Yeah, we were missing a few on that one though. We didn't have Luna or M6.
Yeah, M6. Yeah, I was trying to get him out too, but like
I think even last time,
I gave him a skateboard too, so I got him out a couple years ago.
Well, I think it's harder for them now because if you're a family man and it's on Thanksgiving, sometimes it's at your house.
Oh yeah.
So you can't just leave your own party and go skate with your friends.
If you're the host,
you're hosting it.
Can you watch the turkey? Can you watch the turkey? I'll be back.
It doesn't work like that.
No, of course. Yeah.
So they get a pass, but I want to see them come out and join us.
Even if your lady's taking care of it, you can't leave her alone.
Right? No, it's just
it's
just not going to work like that.
Where are you going?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get that. Are you really going skating right now?
Yeah.
It's just like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't fit it in. Like, I just gotta go to the store. I gotta go get some ice. I'll be back. And
real quick.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Why are you all sweaty?
Yeah, you come back with a different shirt. The other one's all wet in the car, trying to hide the evidence.
You went skating, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens. It happens. Yeah. Yeah, nowadays, I mean, skating, yeah, it does, everybody life gets involved and stuff, and it does get a little harder to get out, but
Yeah.
you seem to get out pretty often, which is cool, like, when you get your chances, and, because my next question was going to be, like, well, I'll wait for that one, but...
Well, for getting out, it's like me and Shanita would get out while the kids are in school.
That's what I want to bring up, too, because you and
so
Shanita always get out, and then... You've been hitting a lot of skate parks lately and bumping into, like, I don't know if it's always planned or maybe you bump into these guys. Like I saw you skating with Day One.
Yeah, well, when we go out to Harbor City, he's usually skating that one in the morning. And I've got some stuff to do out there sometimes. So Chinita will just come out and meet me out at Harbor City. And a few other people will come. Like our buddy Nate comes down and we got a few locals that come and join us.
Everybody's doing a
but yeah, they're just Day One's already there, and like usually Chris Haslam will roll through. You know, he hasn't been there lately.
Yeah,
but Day One's usually there.
Chris Haslam was recently at La Puente, man. He that guy can skate, man.
Yeah,
he's so creative.
Yeah, he's got a different bag of tricks than anybody too.
Yeah.
Well, like him and Day One and that
cheese and crackers. Yeah.
Woo, the stuff they came up with.
It's like
crazy.
Like I think of Mousetrap, that old game.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Like all these little
or
things
like
that go around.
The Pee Wee Herman and the Pee Wee's Big Adventure, when it like starts off his morning with the
A's
and the whole thing.
Exactly.
There was that kind of stuff going on.
That's
pretty
how
rad.
I feel. That's how I feel when I'm watching that thing, man.
Yeah, they must have started it, got an idea, and then just grew on that because some of that stuff was so intricate.
Yeah.
And like you have to be on it because you got to do the skate part of it too.
And then the cameraman has to know what's going to come next, where to go next, how to follow them.
Well, none of those tricks were easy either. It's not like they're just going up and doing a pivot. They're doing like, a 360 flip blunt. Double flip in. It's like, what?
I heard that was like the same cameraman, but like, say Day One will come in and then he'll do his stuff, and then the next day Chris will come in, and then he'll be like, "What did Day One do?" He'd be like, "Dude." Like, so then he's like, so then they go, okay, so now he's got to step it up, and they kind of just kind of one up in each other, you know what I mean? So
it goes back to the Rodney versus Day One, those videos, because like you see their footage, like, oh man, I got to try something even harder.
Well,
they
Day
pushed
One
each
was
other good
when he was putting those benches together. It was all over for me. I'm never gonna be able to do this stuff, man. Okay, like 60 benches all.
Yeah, he had some good ones.
Are they working on a second cheese and crackers right now? I keep seeing.
Yeah, I had heard that they were too. So I hope it does good for him, you know?
Oh,
yeah.
Because I thought that video was so rad, and like I brought it up to Chris one time when I saw him, like how much I liked that video, and he's like he wasn't as stoked as I was, but I guess there was issues when they sold the video, they didn't give the guys what they deserved from it. It's like whoever owned the footage and whoever was selling it and distributing it didn't give them back even close to enough. Yeah, it's like they did the video for fun, and this other guy gets all the money. Like it happens over and over in skating. It sucks to see that. So I hope when they do round 2, they get something for it, you know, and maybe keep it in house and do it themselves.
I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing now, especially because Day One now he's part of Thank You, and you know, he's kind of more of his own boss now. If they're able to do it
through that, maybe they could do it. I don't know.
You know what I mean? So
it just sucks. I wish these guys would get what they deserve, you know?
Yeah.
And it rarely happens.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's true.
Yeah, because they're both really talented.
And then another sesh I saw you with Wee Man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys doing some board slides and stuff.
Yeah, no, we used to skate with him way back too. I think Jonas had met him first, and they were hanging out because they had a different crew that would skate out, I think, toward L.A. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, but they would bump into each other and skate a bunch. And the first time I ever met him was when I came home from filming with the Color guys, and he was at our house.
Oh, sick.
And like Jonas was hanging out with him while I was filming for a video part. So,
that's dope.
I just came back, and that's when I met him for the first time. Was at our house.
Yeah.
And then we've been skating off and on ever since.
Yeah, Jose Serta's really good friends with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hang together. And then also, I guess, Dressen and him are good friends too. So
yeah, Eric Dressen.
Yeah. So it's fun skating with all those guys.
Yeah, man. That's so cool. And to see, like, especially you guys all together in like your clips and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, what the hell? I wish I didn't work sometimes, you know. Like,
right.
I feel like I'm missing out, you know. Like,
well, it's funny we get out there because I got a GoPro. Dr. Purple Teeth hooked me up with a good one.
Okay.
Luna gave me my first one, I think.
All right.
And I think he was doing a lot of stuff with GoPros, and we just didn't have another one around.
Right.
And whenever he had an extra one, I finally got one. Maybe Mike Escamilla, I think, hooked me up with my first good one.
Uh-huh.
And then we started filming with that. And once we had a camera around, it's still hard to get someone to film. Right. So I kind of, Luna was doing a lot of the filming for us. Then he got busy with some other life stuff, work stuff. he started shooting a lot more photos for the
Right.
high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then there was still no one around to take over. So I started filming everybody else.
Yeah.
Now I got the GoPro, I got the
Yeah.
long pole, try to get the low angles, try to get close, and
Yeah.
like just watching the footage back and getting better at filming. Now I really got a good handle on what the camera is
sure.
going to capture.
Yeah.
So, and pretty much I'll be skating behind someone and I'll be watching the lens and I got them in my peripheral. I'm trying to
Yeah.
make sure I'm getting what I want. It's
Everything's
pointed the right
squared
way, angled the right
Yeah.
way, and I try to get it all. And just watching it back and learning from the way you
Right.
filmed it, trying to be on the right side of them and trying to
That's
just
what I do.
get certain tricks from the right direction, all that stuff. You just learn as you go.
And I'm almost like, I hope he doesn't land it first try because
Right.
I want to see
That's the
how I'm
thing.
gonna get it. You know?
Yeah, that's the hard part about filming Chinita because he'll want to do a line.
Oh, he's gonna
and
get
he'll
it.
do it first try.
Yeah.
And like on the first one, you're still trying to figure out which side to be on,
Right.
what trick he's gonna do next, and,
And
like
then do I
line it all
need to
together.
pull back? Do I need to get closer?
So he'll
Yeah.
make it first try, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, I hope I got it good. You watch it back on the little screen, like, oh, okay, we got it.
If their guys are gonna be first try, I usually stand a little further back so I
Right.
know they're gonna be in the full
Right.
screen. And then you notice how I twisted it this way now. Like
Yeah.
I turned it this way.
The vertical way,
The
yeah.
vertical way. So that's
Yeah.
even harder to capture everybody more
Right.
centered because you lose all the
Right.
the-
I haven't started filming that way,
Yeah.
but I guess because the way the phones are and the way the reels go and all that stuff,
Right.
it's more tall and skinny now, which,
Right.
you know, back in the days was always, you got to film
Right,
sideways. And you
right.
knew
I had
someone didn't know how to use their phone and film. If they
If
were
they
doing it
were like,
vertical,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, why are you filming it vertical? It's got to be
Exactly.
wide.
So
now it's completely
opposite.
flipped. It's like, all right. Yeah, now it's all going to be vertical. But
Yeah.
it crops it in so much. So, like,
It
you know,
does.
if you didn't film it vertical and
Yeah.
you put it on that thing, it just crops in
Yeah.
and gets all pixelated.
Yeah,
So you
it's-
have to
you
switch
have
it.
to, yeah.
But I haven't tried to mount it that way. Do you have
Yeah.
a different mount for it then?
No, I could just twist it around.
You just have one that
I
angles
think
like,
the camera's over there. Yeah.
yeah.
but-
Because that would take some getting used to too. With the camera being vertical and off to the side of the pole, you got to make sure you're getting what you want.
Yeah. So yeah, and which is cool that I mean you being filming now and following everybody. There was a time I think 411 had something over there at the Huntington Edison Park.
Oh yeah. And I broke out the camera for that.
Yeah,
one.
you broke out
for
the
sure.
camera, and one of the,
Yeah.
I think his name was Rick. He was
Yeah,
like,
Ricky
this,
Biedenbaugh. Yeah.
yeah, he's like, this is I'm not used to you pointing the camera at
Right.
me. I'm usually pointing the camera at you.
Yeah, he's like, if you would have told 12-year-old me, I'd be here and have
Yeah.
Jeremy Wray film me. What
Yeah.
the, you know?
Yeah.
It was funny, but yeah.
That was a
Because
rad
we used
day.
to film with Ricky too. Like
Yeah.
he worked for Element for a while and
Yeah.
was filming for them.
That's
but,
rad.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of stuff together because he was working closely with Tim.
Mm-hmm.
You get out with him a lot because they were already buddies. But
That's cool, man.
yeah,
Yeah. That Edison Park is pretty fun too, man.
yeah,
It's all like kind of like it's something I would have loved to have
yeah.
growing up in the 90s.
Yeah, it's more street related, but
Right.
and that ground's really rough, so it doesn't feel like you're in a perfect skate park.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of a little choppy. But that spot also does have a little famous like mani pad right there too.
Yeah, the curved one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least though you got a trick on there.
Yeah.
A little mani pad back
It's
there.
long and low and curved, but it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an old school spot.
You gotta hold it.
Yeah.
That's when you really know how to mani.
What is it? Mullix? Is that his name?
Which one?
Alex Mole or Alex Mole?
Yeah, Alex Mole. Yeah.
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 He got a trick that day. I think he was there one time. Me and Jonas went over there and
On the mani part.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the mani part. I think he blunt slid the end of it or something, like just it's all kind of blunted it a little
Yeah.
bit, popped out. I'm like, this guy, man.
Yeah. No, he goes way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was early, like Death Box days before they turned into Flip. Mm-hmm. He was one of their original writers. He goes way, way back.
Yeah, he's
And even,
a rad dude.
Rowley was telling me he was like their Matt Hensley back then.
Oh, wow.
Like he was, on a different level back then.
Yeah, I just seen him and Raleigh they had a skate sesh together recently, I think,
Yeah.
too. Yeah. That's cool, man. Sheesh. Were there any skate shops that you around the area? Any local skate shops growing up?
Yeah, when we lived in Glendale, we would go to Billy's General Store. It was up in
Okay.
Montrose. That's where we got our boards back then. But when we moved to La Habra, we had to find a new skate shop. And I guess there used to be one called Skate Cafe or something in Whittier that
Okay.
had closed down right when we moved in. We were looking for a shop. That one had just closed, so we ended up going to Hot Skates.
Hot Skates.
Yeah,
I heard
and they
of
had
that.
2 locations for Hot Skates.
Yeah.
So we ended up going there a lot, and then ended up getting to know the people, and ended up getting sponsored by them too. So
Oh, that's cool.
they were a local shop sponsor for us, and they did a lot. They would take us to the skate contests that were going on, like when we went up to the Powell skate zone. They had a contest up there. All the Hot Skates guys hopped in the van.
Damn.
And that's back when it was like, it was me and Jonas and Ronnie Bertino was on the Hot Skates team. But then also some of the foundation guys, like they're Josh Beagle.
Okay.
And it was, I think, Brian Ferry. Yeah. And then Chris Goebel. All those dudes, all going skate these contests together.
That's rad.
Yeah. Some old school talent.
I mean, skateboarding, I guess.
Like, you know the filmer Beagle for Baker?
Yeah.
They call him Beagle because he looks like Josh Beagle from Foundation days.
Yeah,
I knew the original Beagle.
Yeah, they did mention that on the nightclub.
Yeah,
you know,
that's where it came from.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That's cool, man.
Beagle was rad too.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What about today? Nowadays, is there a local shop you shop at now?
Yeah, I mean, for me now, the closest one to me is Program.
Program?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as local shops, you know, can't leave out Liberty Board Shop.
Liberty.
You know, because after the Hot Skates days, then Liberty Board Shop opened up in Brea, and they were closer to us.
That's where I would shop.
So we would just go there because it was closer, and we got to know all those guys, and they had a good skate scene coming out of there.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got to know the owner pretty well.
I used to buy the Liberty blank decks and stuff.
Right.
And they were cool, man. I met Sean Farron.
Right. Sean ripped,
dude. He was so cool, man. He was so nice to me, too, being a young kid, not... You know, like it's kind of intimidating sometimes if you go into a skate shop and with your mom, you know what I mean? And then, you know, so it's like, you know, you're trying to be cool and, you know, like, oh, I want this, I want that. And the guy was really cool and telling me this is, you know, these are good trucks. These are good, you know, this and that. And
he knew his stuff.
Yeah.
And all those guys ripped, but Sean especially, I was always surprised that he didn't go down that route and like get sponsored and
what
like
happened to that guy?
You know, turn pro because he was on that level. He was that good.
One time he stopped by Habra skate park and you know that light pole in the back where the big quarter pipe is and first he starts off in where we come in at, he hops over the middle part, boom, and then he goes down up the little quarter pipe in the corner, like off his board, like Spider-Man runs around the pole. Jumps back on his board into the other quarter pipe. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. And he was one of the first guys I saw when the Brea Park popped up, the original one. Mm-hmm. He was able to go out of the bowl into the street part, go skate around, come back, and ollie back into the bowl. And it was like, damn. Yeah. And it was all first try, just cruising the park.
He was a reason why I learned how to do shove it. Stall, like shove it back to stall, right? Because he was doing that just messing around, yeah. And then he'll 180 like turn stall and then do it back the other way, yeah. And that one I didn't get. I was too scared to try to jump back to the ledge.
I don't know if you remember at Brea, they used to have those like metal oil drums for trash cans. Mm-hmm. Well, we used to stack them up and ollie off the bump over the metal trash cans. Well, then bump coming you could put another one on. There were like two. So he did two standing up. And then we even got, I think, one on the side. So we had two standing up and one sideways. And he ollied that thing. Jeez. And that's back when I was had my good camera. I was taking some photos. I think it was even slide film back then. Yeah. I had like that Canon EOS 1N, the one that all the photographers used to use. And I was using that with a 70-200, and I shot a photo of him ollieing over those cans. Man. And it was. I got a few good ones. I sent one of them into the magazine just to see if they would run it, but you know they never ran it. That's nice. But I had ones of Daniel too, Daniel Acamini. Okay. I had a bunch of photos of him, so we were trying to get some photos in there. Yeah. But I don't think they ever got ran anywhere.
That's crazy.
I have to find the old slides.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're sending maybe, I don't know if you don't always have two copies of photos. So
I sent away the slides hoping that, you know, they'd turn up somewhere, but I don't think those ones ever made it.
Too bad. Oh, sorry, we didn't use these. Returned.
Right, no, sometimes. Okay. Or you have to like put the envelope, return to sender and all the stuff in it. You know, okay, it's not going to come out of their pocket to send it back to you.
Makes sense.
But I just sent them in because I knew some people down there, so figured they could take a look and decide.
That's dope. So Dr. Purple Teeth gave you or who gave you the GoPro? You said Dr. Purple Teeth.
Yeah, he gave me one recently too. I guess it's the GoPro Max. Okay. The one that has like the 360 capabilities. That's dope. But I usually just use the one side because it has a good super view where it's pretty similar to like a VX camera with the depth lens on it. Right. It gives you that kind of look. Yeah. And you got to be pretty close. But with the GoPro, you got to be even closer. Right. Like the depth lens, you could be, you know, maybe like 2 feet away from the
Right,
person.
and you
That's
get the
close
whole-
enough.
You get the whole shot.
With the GoPro on the pole, you got to be within like 6 inches.
Too. Wow.
You definitely got to be under a foot to get the whole view and have the person, the
That's
subject
pretty wild.
be
That's pretty
big.
wild how close you can get nowadays
Yeah.
with cameras and it still captures.
And from, because we were
everything.
using the GoPro 7 for a while, that had a
That's
pretty
what I'm
good
on.
wide view.
Mhm.
But this one's so much more fisheye that you have to be like half the distance
Wow.
to make it look right.
So yeah, that takes some practicing, I would guess. Like if I were
Right.
to switch
And that was the
up
same
now.
thing. Like when we were filming with it at first, and I looked back, I'm like, oh, I got to get even closer,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
And then when I hand my camera off to someone else to film me, they're still not getting close enough because
Right.
you know,
That's
you
the thing
kinda
too.
know where you should
and then
be.
especially when you know your camera and you know how to get the angles and
Right.
everything because you've been playing with it enough. And then
Right.
you hand it off to someone else, you're like, oh damn, can we do it again? 'Cause,
Right.
yeah, get closer. Don't be afraid. It's all right.
right, you got to be right up in it.
Yeah.
And that's why some of the days I'd rather just film other people and get good footage of them, make them look good, than like hand it off and like me try to do something. Because even if it feels good, if it doesn't look right, then it's like I'd rather
Yeah.
just film you and make you
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's true because we skated, I think it was this bank. I think it was Orangewood or something like that. Out, what is it? The Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go out there at night, and the homie would come and set up with this all the flat bars and stuff. And I was
Right.
like, "You're like, are you gonna get a trick?" I'm like, "Sure," but I just got like a board slide. You're like, "Don't worry, I'll make it look good." I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
Like, all right,
Mhm.
I got it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Just do it the way you do it. And
Yeah.
if it's filmed right, it'll look rad, you know?
I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of like filmers like that don't film the clip right, but the trick's so sick at a sick spot, but the filming's
Right.
Yeah,
It makes a
wasn't on
big
point.
difference.
It
Yeah, you got
does.
to trust your filmers and you got to have someone who knows how to use that camera.
And
And
yeah.
it makes all the
And
difference.
I seen a simple like trick, but the filming was so on point that made it look so,
Right.
Right.
so epic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, we'll put these clips together, and it makes every place we're looking look like so much fun. You know,
Right,
people are like,
right.
I want to go skate with you guys because
Right. And I like
it looks
the
rad.
cameras make them look like there's actually like I don't skate very fast, but it makes
Right.
me look I'm going faster
Right.
than I am.
You get that thing low to the ground, and
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're skating toward it, and you
Yeah.
see all the ground going by. Yeah.
I've even learned to film myself where I put the camera this way and then I'll
Right.
even like take the shot around back here and then bring it back forward.
Right.
So if somebody's like, "Who's capturing that?" I'm like, "Me."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do that during like the trick a day and kickflip a day stuff. I
Yeah.
just filmed myself because no one was ever around, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I just have to handle it myself.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun just trying to film, do the trick and hold the camera.
Yeah.
It's different.
It
but
is different.
It comes out
especially
cool.
like for me jumping on the like a board slide. Usually
Right.
sometimes your arms
Right,
want to
you
go
have
up.
to use one
and
arm.
now you got to
Yep.
go this way and
You can do it though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and sometimes these angles come out really
Mm-hmm.
nice because you're the one capturing what you want to see, and then sometimes if somebody
Right.
else is holding it, that might be in your way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in a way. So
Well,
it's
and
like
back when we were making that starting point video for Transworld, I was filming it with Ty Evans. So
Mm-hmm.
he's got a really good HD camera, and we're filming the stuff. It might have even been before HD. It might have been like just the regular VX or whatever.
Right.
But it was an expensive camera at the time, and it was pretty hefty.
yeah.
So he'd film a couple angles of whatever trick I was doing. And then for another angle, I was like, well, what if I film it from the top?
Yeah.
So I had to do all my tricks, like holding the camera up above, with looking
Wow.
down, just so you can get that top view. But trying to do like kick flips and heel flips while
Holding
you're
the
holding the
camera.
camera up like that
And that's
and
yeah.
keep it steady
Yeah.
was pretty tough. But we got it. And that ended up being in the thing. And you can't see my arms holding it. You know, you
That's
just see
cool.
like the top view. So it was a fun thing to try, and I'm glad it worked out.
What was that in?
It was a like a starting point
Starting
video
point?
for Transworld.
Okay,
It was like a
Transworld.
VHS tape they made of a
Dope.
how-to skate video.
Ah.
And it
starting
was
point. I
an
have to
idea
look
they
that up.
had, and they just hit me up about doing it.
Yeah.
And we kind of just made a list of the tricks we'd want in there and knocked them out.
That's
So-
cool.
Didn't you do a trick tip on one of those transforms, the front 360, or I thought like
Yeah.
one of your trick tips?
Every once in a while, they do some trick tip stuff. Yeah, I did a trick tip on a heel flip, and one of them was frontside 360. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Yeah, but the starting point video, I did all the tricks.
All the
It was
tricks.
just me and Ty working together and going out to LA trying to get some like cool backgrounds and just doing the regular flat ground tricks. Then we got a few transition ones at the end too, just to, you know, for someone who just got aboard, they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
That was the starting point.
That was the starting point.
Yeah,
That's cool, man. Yeah,
Mhm.
especially for back in the day, because nowadays anybody could look up anything they want to. but-
yeah. YouTube's
yeah, it's full of
you
everything.
can learn anything
but-
on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but back then to go to Transworld and actually know that
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, if I know I'm going to Transworld, I know I'm going to find some skateboarding, and then you see something
Right.
to teach you how to skateboard. You're going to be
Right.
like, oh wow.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
originally that was supposed to be just a small side project for them in between their big videos, like when they were doing Uno and
Right.
you know, Modus Operandi and all this, all the like the real skate videos.
Right.
They had a window to do something else, and we did that. And
Yeah.
then they said that Starting Point ended up outselling all of those videos.
Wow.
Because they didn't realize how many people were getting into skating and,
Right,
and
wanna
needed that.
learn, yeah.
So they ended up selling a ton of those things.
That makes more sense because I mean a lot of times like if a kid is new to skateboarding and he sees everybody throwing themselves off of stair sets and doing ledges and stuff and then he goes, well, that's kind of out of my reach, and then
Right.
and then they find a video that shows them how to even start. You're
Right.
like, wow, like now I'm about to buy that.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
Now, I've ran
You
into
know?
people on the streets too that like learned from that video, and they'll
That's
come up
cool.
like, "Oh shoot, I had your video. Like I learned how to kickflip from watching you." Like,
That's
you know,
cool.
It's pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and they're stoked.
Yeah.
So it helped a lot of people out.
That's great, man. That's great. Are you the type of person that do you bump music while you skating? Do you got the AirPods in?
You know what? I've never been able to, because like
Okay.
back in our days, it used to be like headphones
Right.
with cords and wires, and then
Right.
something in your pocket,
Yeah,
and all that
Discman.
stuff. Like it was always just I didn't like anything on me, around me. Like
Right.
as far as I'll go, I'll wear a hat. That's
Yeah,
about it.
that's
And even
about
that, sometimes I could be like, oh, I can't see what I need to do. I'll turn it around or take it off when I really
Okay.
get serious. But
Okay.
you know, I don't like anything. And like I've tried, even when it got slimmer, when they had like the iPod Shuffle, it
Right.
was like the size of a little pack of gum, like
Yeah.
a little Wrigley spearmint gum.
Yeah, what
I had
bothers
that,
me was
but
the-
it was
the
still
cords.
the wires. So
Yeah.
it's like, can't they just make it without that? And then I've never actually gotten the ones that are wireless
Okay.
to try it. But even
Yeah.
then, like you see people skating at the park.
They're not
and
paying
they're
attention.
Just, yeah, they're just in their own little world. And like
Yep.
you try to say something to them, they're like, huh?
Yeah.
What? Like, you know, like you gotta repeat yourself. It's like, come on, you know.
I know.
So it's just.
But
no.
I am the type of person that I listen to music, but I only keep one in
Right.
because I have to hear what's going on.
Right.
If someone is yelling at me to get out the way,
Right.
or like if I hear a bike or anything
Right.
coming
and
at
if
me,
you're skating in the streets, you
I
need to
gotta
know
hear
where
it.
those cars are at.
Yep,
You know, you need
yep.
to be able to hear it coming. And
Yeah.
same thing in the parks. You need to know if there's like a bike coming the other way full speed. You need to be able to listen to everything. So
That's me.
it's not a good idea to have the
no, at
earphones in.
least don't have both of them in. But
Right.
yeah, I know these kids, they like to get in their zone and everything, you know.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been able to. Just didn't
Yeah.
work for me. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can do it, but then it's kind of rude to your friends because if
Yeah.
you did have it in and someone tried to talk to you,
Yeah.
then you know,
You're like, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly
cool
what
when
you
you're.
did, yeah.
It just looks like you're ignoring them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, cool. So keep the earbuds out of the ears.
yeah.
Any other hobbies besides skating?
Always art. Yeah.
Yeah, because
art and photography. Yeah.
I know you're an artist, and I've seen
Yeah.
some of the stuff you've done, like that head sculpture that you did of yourself.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool. Like, I don't think I could sculpt my own face. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's gotta be some crazy stuff.
Well, I was lucky to be able to be into art and skateboarding because
Mm-hmm.
when I got around to the time where it was time to get my first board graphics, stuff like that,
Yeah.
they let me do my own stuff. So I was
Oh.
able to like draw up my graphics. And then I did, the 2 graphics for Blockhead. And then when I wrote for Color Skateboards, I did all my color boards.
Yeah.
And then even on to Plan B, I did most of my Plan B boards. And I think that's right around the time when people started doing like series
Yeah.
graphics for the companies.
Right.
So everyone would have like, something very similar.
Yeah.
And then they'd hire an artist to do those. So I think one of my first ones that I didn't actually do was in one of those series for Plan B. And I was even like,
Well,
I don't want to
kinda
do
cool
that.
that you're part of a series.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, it's all going to be tied together. And all right. So they
Yeah.
did it. And then I had a couple more along the way that were like Slick Bottoms, where it was full artwork that someone
Yeah.
else did.
Yeah.
So I had a few that I didn't do. And then when I got onto Element, most of theirs were all just series graphics where it was just a graphic design with your name and the logo and a color.
Okay.
So I didn't get to do a lot of those ones
Right,
either.
right, yeah.
But then later on, I had an opportunity to start doing some more.
Yeah.
And it was cool getting back into it and doing it again because it's more personal. You
It
know?
is, yeah. Especially,
Get a
I
little
mean,
personality in
I
it.
feel like art and skateboarding kind of go hand in hand, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was cool getting to learn to do graphics like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the old days, I used to actually have to go through, do the color separations, cut ruby liths. It was all in
Wow.
layers, getting it ready for screening. Now it's all just you turn in your graphic on the computer and
Yeah.
get it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still get to do graphics for our Ray Bros brand.
Yeah.
So I do all the like art and design and logos for that. And
That's your own company right there, Ray
yeah.
Bros. Yeah.
Well, and the art and design helped for doing the shoes and stuff. I always like, some people would go and just go to the company. They'd have samples for them to look at, and they'd choose their shoe.
Right.
I got to design mine from scratch.
That's the best.
Yeah, I really hopped in there and did it, like start to finish, all on my own, and learned along the way.
Yeah, and I've seen you even painted a few boards one time. Like you had a board that you put some fish on.
Oh yeah, I did the drip fish series.
Yeah, the drip fish. That was kind of cool because somebody I know out in New York, his name is Dave Scoot.
Yeah,
He purchased one. He purchased one of your boards.
His collection is nuts.
Yeah,
he's got so many boards.
He's got so many boards.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to his stories every day because he's always posting like different stuff. So he's rad.
Yeah,
he's a huge collector, and that's pretty much where I base kind of where my stuff off now, because like I was saying earlier, like all the stuff I bought before, not really collectible, but to me, I thought they were all rad, and I found this pro skaters, and some of them were signed. But that guy knows, the artist, the series, he's into it.
Yeah, and his collection is deep. Yeah. As far as the artwork stuff goes, I was doing art before skateboarding, even just from a little kid. Yeah. And then all the way through skateboarding, still doing art and graphics and design. And then I got a chance to go after high school, because I had my high school in my art class in high school was with Miss G, Ellen Gamuscio. Okay. She was like, the only teacher I actually got to know really close. And she helped me a lot with my artwork and just pushed me in certain directions and got me more involved in art too.
That's cool. Yeah.
So she helped me a lot. And then, and she believed in me and would give me challenging things to try. Yeah. So then after that, I got to go to a Saturday High art program at Art Center in Pasadena, which I always thought I'd go back and go to college there. Yeah. But it just didn't pan out with skateboarding and traveling. I ended up just, doing art for the skate companies instead and didn't take it as a school path. Right. But I did get to take some classes over at Fullerton College. Cool. So when I got over there, I took like all the drawing and painting classes. Like there's drawing 1, 2, 3, painting 1, 2, and 3. And then expressive drawing. Wow. Then I even took a printmaking class where you learn how to like do actual prints and like learn how to do etchings, like metal etchings, and then like metal plate prints. Okay. And they'd have the big printing press where you roll it through with a piece of paper on whatever you made, and it transfers the image. Right. Yeah. So right now I'm working as a print operator, so But we have a machine that actually prints onto fabric now and straight like sublimate right away. Yeah. Before you used to have to put the image. This is the old school stuff. You had to put the image on there. On it. Yeah, you had to put an image, and then you had to transfer it before. But now it's and you had to have your image backwards because when it transfers it,
it's
reverses
it. Yeah, exactly. It'd have to be like the mirrored image.
So I really liked the printmaking class. And then after doing all those classes, one of the teachers just saw the way I was doing stuff. Like, I think that you have the right mind for doing the 3D sculpture stuff. So they sent me to the other side. And I took the beginning sculpture class, and that's where that sculpture of my head came in. That was our very first project, was to do like your head life size in clay, and really like intimidating project because none of us had really worked in clay before, and it was new to all of us. But the reason why the teacher did that, they just wanted to see what your level was at and if they could actually teach you, and what you had on your own, because they didn't give us very much instruction on it either. It's just like, here it is, go in and see what you get.
See where your level's at.
Yeah. So I ended up just hopping in and doing that one. That was fun.
Cool. That's cool.
And then after the beginning sculpture class was done, I ended up taking a lot of bronze sculpture classes where you carve stuff out of like brown wax and then you turn it into a bronze sculpture.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a whole process, like the lost wax process, where you have your wax sculpture built up. You get a cylinder around it, pour some plaster in, it hardens. You put that in the kiln, the big oven, and it melts all the wax out. So then you have the plaster thing with a hollow form inside. You flip it over, and you pour the liquid metal inside, and it fills all up. Okay. And then you break away the plaster, and you got whatever you made.
That's cool.
Now it's in bronze. So I did a ton of those, and those haven't really seen the light of day because there's still a lot of finishing work that has to be done. Okay. You got to grind them down with like Dremel tools, polish them up, and then put them on a base and stuff like that. So I did some skate sculptures of people doing skate tricks in bronze. Yeah. That are maybe statues about that high.
That's cool.
And then I ended up doing my poker trophy that people have seen. It's a girl holding up a poker chip.
Oh,
She's sitting on a stack of poker chips.
Okay.
So I wanted that for my trophy, and I ended up making 2 of those. And had a friend who did some woodworking make the bases for me. Yeah. So then we still use that one today. And whenever anyone wins it, they get their name engraved on the side on a little plaque.
Oh, that's cool.
So it'll be like our Stanley
Kind of
Cup.
pass around. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
pass it around. But
That's
yeah,
rad.
I still want to do some more bronze sculpture in the future if I get a chance.
That
But that's
sounds
not
cool.
something you can really do just at your house.
Right,
Kind of
yeah.
need a foundry and
Right. It's,
all the stuff you don't
you're-
have.
You're having, melting metal and shit.
Right. It'd be nice to have a setup at home, but I don't have
Yeah.
that right now.
Yeah.
But I think it would take a little work to get it done. But it's not impossible.
No.
But then it would open
Make
it
some
up
room in a garage
to
or
do
something,
some more
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if I clean out my garage one of these days.
Yeah. All right. Starting to wind down a little bit now since we got into all the, all the stories that we're getting into today. First of all, any advice that you give to the younger generation coming up, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, as far as skateboarding goes,
Skateboarding?
yeah, if you're into it, just keep doing it and do it the best of your ability, and look for opportunities when they come, and just make sure you're having fun with your friends, because that's the best part of all of it. You know,
Right.
yeah, don't be too eager to chase down getting paid for it or getting involved with companies and brands, because it's a long process to get all that stuff to work, and sometimes that's not the path you're going to end up anyway, you know?
Right.
So if you're got other interests where you're a good filmer or photographer, there's other parts of skateboarding that you
Right.
can be involved in. Maybe you love doing the artwork. Maybe you want to be into graphics. Maybe you want to do the design work,
Yeah.
Or maybe you're really good with people and you want to do sales or marketing or whatever, There's lots of stuff you can do within skateboarding, but make sure if you're into skateboarding for actually riding your skateboard, just have
Yeah.
fun with your friends and,
Exactly. Yeah.
don't expect to get much out of it, and just do that.
Yeah. Because, just shut up and skate. Let your board do your talking.
Yep. Or as have we been saying, show up and skate.
Show up and skate.
You got to show up and skate.
All right. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's the Texas stuff. Shut up and skate. But ours around here was just like show up and skate. Just come join in and
Yeah.
actually do it.
That's cool, man. And I want to first of all, I want to thank you for coming down and joining us today on the show.
Yeah.
This is where I ask a question that maybe it's off the wall a little bit.
All right.
But as a man who already defies gravity, what other superpower would you have if you could choose one?
Ooh. Man. If I could run even faster, then I could push harder and faster, and I could all even further. So yeah, I want that. Whatever that is, I want that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So he wants
Longer,
to.
bigger gaps like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If you could run super fast, that means you could push even faster. So yeah, I want that. So whatever Flash
the
had.
Flash.
Yeah,
The Flash. All right.
exactly. Use that to push. I bet the Flash could ollie really far.
I bet you too, but we might not even see it. We might not even see it though.
Yeah.
You have one of those lightning fast boat ollies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, what the hell? Did he jump that gap? He did, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Motocross
the
level.
The whole lake. Damn.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. All right. Any shout outs or any plugs you want to plug? Anything you want to plug or shout out?
No, just, come visit us over at raybros.com.
Yep.
Come see what we got over there. We got new stuff popping every now and then, We're not on any kind of schedule like most brands. We don't have seasonal drops or anything. We just do the projects as they come in.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we're
I
going to
enjoy
be
the
actually
website.
re-releasing one of my early color boards from 93.
Okay.
So I think the one we're working on with Cholo,
Okay.
he's going to be hand screening those,
Dope.
the color adopt an animal board. So it's like
Okay.
the yellow board that had the, like an elephant, a monkey, and a lion
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
Real simple drawing. That's the
Okay.
one he's working on right now. So he's been screening them.
And do you have a date for that to drop already, or?
I mean, it should be how long does it take for these to come out?
Well,
So-
this is dropping on March 16th, which
so
will be
they
my
might
birthday.
be done by then.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for them soon, and you'll find them at raybros.com, and that'll be the first of the color reissues, but there will be more.
Okay.
So look for more of the old boards popping back up with all the original artwork. I actually
I'll be
I
definitely
hung on to
looking
all
at-
the original like line art, so I have a lot of that still at my house. So we've been digging through it to see what we can make. So
Wow.
that'll be the first one of those, and there'll be more to come. So
That's cool, man. I
look
can't
for
wait.
those.
I can't wait.
and
man,
then look
'cause
for
I'll be
edits
purchasing.
too. We're gonna be skating and filming, and
Yeah.
I'll have the GoPro out there. We'll be filming some stuff. And,
Yeah. Where can they follow you at on Instagram?
Ooh, you can go just to mine. It's at Jeremy _Ray WRAY, and that's
Okay.
where most of my stuff is. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
All right.
Just look for it there. And if there's anything else that you need to go to, I'll put it in the caption.
Yeah.
We'll lead you to where you need to be.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you again for stopping by.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a pleasure. It's been great. It's been fun chatting. I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. I want to thank my crew for coming down and hanging out and making sure we get the.
Before you cut it, I got gifts.
You got what?
Yeah, like Nightclub does.
Oh.
I got some of these for you.
Okay. Oh,
You
some
can take
sunglasses.
the stuff off and
Yeah,
check
yeah.
it out.
All right.
Those are some that are right up your alley.
Yep. This is
Yeah.
gonna work just perfect because as people know, it's bright in here. That's why I wear sunglasses.
Yeah, those are the
And,
good
I don't
wood
think I wanna
sides.
See my eyes here. Hold on. All right, we'll switch them up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the
Oh.
laser engraved, the wood sides.
These are fresh.
Yeah,
I can actually see through them a little bit better because
nice and
these
clean.
are
I
dark,
figured
yeah.
those would be right up your alley.
These are clean.
And then I got some of these
Oh,
Ray
shout
Bros
out.
keychain bottle openers.
Keychains.
And I brought enough for the whole class. So I didn't know how many people would be here, but I
sick.
got you guys covered too.
Thank you very much. Shout out.
Yeah. And I also got these little Jonas pins
Yes.
with the Jonas, Shaka logo we did for my brother when he passed away. So this
Yeah.
is what we did to commemorate him. And it's a cool little logo. We got
Yes.
those. I don't sell these. I pretty much just give them all away. So we got a bunch of them. So whenever
So when you
anyone
make a
orders
purchase,
something, through
when
the
you make
site,
a purchase,
you usually end up with one of these.
yeah.
So, and
That's
I
rad.
if we got keychains and stuff, I'll throw whatever we got, stickers.
Yeah, when
I always
purchase
throw extras in there.
I've gotten sunglasses.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
And these
you.
are the special ones that actually say Ray Bros on one side, and they got the skateboarding on the inside.
Dope.
So we did double engraves on those ones.
Dope.
Always got to keep the skateboarding in there,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody
And a
else in
few
the
of these
future.
guys.
Yeah.
Even that guy.
We accept gifts over here now.
M6 made these ones for us.
Oh.
Our buddy
shout
Mike
out.
Mendoza.
Mike
yeah.
Mendoza. Shout
Yeah. He made these ones. Those are like the
out. Yep.
cut decal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can go on your car or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are cool. And then we got the reflective ones. You'll see these around town.
Oh yeah.
Usually I'm the one that
up
stuck
there.
one of those. Yeah,
Got the one up
exactly.
there. Yeah.
So you'll see my handiwork around.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So,
All right.
yep.
Again, thank
All
you
the
very much for bringing gifts, and
Yeah.
thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you to my crew again. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that all notification button so you know when we're out here. Again, if you have anybody, you or a friend want to be on the show, hit us up in the comments. Let us know. And follow us on Instagram at We're the Locals Sk8. And until next time.
All right.
Peace.
Cheers.